Today we will talk about the Millionaire Next Door. How do they look like? Television shows and movies depict millionaires as owners of colossal mansions in expensive uptown neighborhoods, who drive the latest foreign-made cars, and are often seen wearing well-tailored suits even when they're just lounging around. This is the result of how we have commonly defined wealthy, as those who have an abundance of material properties. However, if there is one thing which this study has revealed, it's this, that truly wealthy people live simple lifestyles. So, how does one know who is wealthy and who is not? One answer lies in the person's net worth. Net worth is a person's current value by computing one's assets against his liabilities. Another answer has something to do with one's expected level of net worth. Otherwise put, a person who has a higher income is expected to have a higher net worth. And the longer he is generating that income, then he has a higher chance of accumulating wealth. Now, the question is, how do we determine our net worth? Our net worth is derived from multiplying our age times our realized pre-tax annual household income from all sources except inheritances. Divide the product by 10. The quotient, less any inheritance, is our net worth. Once we have computed our net worth, we can now determine whether we are prodigious accumulators of wealth or PAWs, under accumulators of wealth or UAWs, or average accumulators of wealth or AWs. The PAWs are those we are at the top quartile in the wealth continuum. And to be considered as a PAW, our net worth should be twice the level of our expected wealth. On the other hand, the UAWs are the ones at the bottom of the continuum, and has a net worth which is 1/2 or less of their expected wealth. We, unfortunately, live in a judgmental society. People are often judged by what they eat or drink, what they wear, or what they drive. They often believe that buying expensive products to denote superiority would also mean that they are superior in terms of economic achievements. Some also have the work hard, play hard mentality. However, the opposite is true. The study reveals that those who allocate much of their time and money in order to look superior are, more often, the ones who are inferior when it comes to economic achievement. The common dictionary definition for frugal is that it is a behavior which reflects economy in the use of resources. It is the opposite of wasteful, which is characterized by lavish spending. If there is something millionaires have in common, it's the value of frugality. It is also believed that being frugal is the cornerstone of wealth building. We have the media to blame for sensationalizing big spenders, like how they report on millionaire athletes and celebrities with their expensive lifestyles. Come to think of it, a person who earns $5 million should logically have at least a net worth of $1 million. However, if we compute this using our wealth equation, a person who earns $5 million a year should have a net worth of $15 million. Unfortunately, a big fraction of today's high earners spends lavishly. Although their net worth is still in the millions, they are not likely to be at the top of the PAW scale. That is because they fall into the trap of a high consumption lifestyle. The youth are made to believe that those who have money should show it, and that they do so extravagantly. More often than not, these are the ones who are in the UAW category. Before going on, if you feel that I have given you some value, please help me by smashing the like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell, so you will be updated when I upload new videos like this. We will talk about one example, Mr. Johnny Lucas. Johnny is a 57-year-old man who owns a small janitorial contracting firm. His neighbors consider him to belong to the middle class. Unknown to them, Johnny has a net worth of more than $2 million, which makes Johnny belong to the top 10% of all the households within his neighborhood. The most he has spent on nice suits for his whole family is $399. And that was for their 25th wedding anniversary. Many would find this unbelievable since they often associate millionaires to wear $1,000 suits. However, the survey reveals that typical American millionaires never spend more than $399 for a suit for themselves or for anyone else. And only about 1 out of 10 millionaires would spend over $1,000 for a suit. The survey also reveals that for every $1,000 suit owned by a millionaire, there are about 6 suits of the same amount owned by people whose income falls between the $50,000 and $200,000 range. This reflects so much about how a person's shopping habits have something to do with why he's not wealthy. Additionally, these are the same people who believe that a custom-made suit is worth the investment, something millionaires don't quite agree with. Now, we move on to footwear. Typical American millionaires, like Johnny, do not spend more than $140 for a pair of shoes. Nonetheless, we see many expensive shoe manufacturers still thrive. A sign of continued patronage from their consumers. This is owing to the fact that what the press greatly emphasizes is a person's abnormal consumer pattern. This translates to the generalization that the rich are all big spenders, which, in turn, convinces the public that owning expensive material possessions spells success. Being frugal also has something to do with how a child has been brought up. Aside from being frugal themselves, the affluent also have frugal parents and, more importantly, frugal spouses. In fact, their spouses are more frugal than they are. If only one high-income earner within a family is frugal, it is not enough to automatically make them millionaires. A couple cannot be expected to amass a great deal of wealth if one of them is wasteful. Unfortunately, statistics show that not a lot of couples can accomplish that feat. In fact, a lot of households are UAWs. And they pass these values on to their children, who grow up to be UAWs, too. So, how exactly do we break this cycle? It is believed that UAWs need to be told the hard and painful truth. That they're worth half of the expected income in his age group. Hopefully, this would spur them to change their ways. It is also suggested that they receive professional help from financial planners who are tasked to take control of their clients' behavior, especially in extreme cases. More importantly, they must learn to minimize their taxable income while making sure to maximize capital appreciation without any cash flow. Another point is how they efficiently allocate their time, money, and energy into building their wealth. The survey reveals that PAWs allocate about twice the number of hours to plan their financial investments, as compared with UAWs. This is significant because there is a positive correlation between planning one's investments and actual wealth accumulation. Although UAWs also concern themselves with living comfortably beyond retirement, they still fail to accumulate the wealth they dream of. This is due to the fact that they do more worrying than taking proactive steps to achieving their goals. Also, since PAWs spend much of their time in preparing their investments, they have an overall peace of mind regarding their economic standing. The survey also revealed that, generally, physicians do not tend to be wealth accumulators. This is surprising, given the fact that physicians earn about $140,000 per year. About 4 times the income of an average American. The fact is also true for other well-educated professionals because the correlation between wealth and education is negative. In fact, high-income PAWs are less likely to hold graduate, law, or medical degrees. The authors share that this may also be owing to the fact that doctors and other professionals start late in the earnings race. Financial experts agree that the earlier one starts investing, the greater the opportunity to accumulate wealth. Since medical students postpone earning, they also postpone their wealth building process. Thus, it is important to begin earning and investing while it's still early. Next, we will talk about economic outpatient care. Abbreviated as EIC, was coined to describe parents who provide their children with monetary gifts even when the latter have already reached adulthood. In fact, some of these parents shoulder the tuition fees of their grandchildren. What effect does this have on their children? Do they become more productive adults? Do they become successful entrepreneurs? Let's share the story of Mary and Lamar, a couple in their 50s who enjoy living luxuriously. They are country club members who drive luxury cars, wear fine clothing and jewelry, and enjoy gourmet food and vintage wines. To top it off, they frequently fly to foreign places to spend their vacation. However, despite this lifestyle, they are in desperate need of money. You see, Lamar is an administrator in a local college with an annual income less than $60,000. Mary, on the other hand, is a housewife. With this meager income, how can they possibly afford such an expensive lifestyle? Their lifestyle has nothing to do with budgeting and planning. It is later on revealed that Mary has been receiving cash gifts from her parents since she was married to Lamar. Her mother also took it upon herself to provide them with a generous loan to buy a nice house in an upscale neighborhood. She even offered to pay for the tuition fees of her grandchildren so that they could attend prestigious private schools in the area. This is a typical example of a parent who provides her children with EIC. The study reveals that parents who are distributors of EIC are the ones who successfully accumulated wealth early on in their lives. Although they lived a life of frugality in terms of consumption, they were not as stingy when it comes to providing for their children. In fact, they feel obligated to provide this economic support not just for their children, but for their families as well. These distributors of EIC believe that their children could not maintain a high consumption lifestyle without their help. What's interesting is how common this behavior is in America. Study shows that more than 46% of the affluent class in the country give at least $15,000 annually to their adult children. Based on the result of their research work, the following reasons why gift receivers generally have lower propensity to accumulate wealth. Number 1. Giving triggers a person to consume more, instead of encouraging him to save and invest. Number 2. Those who receive gifts fail to distinguish between their own wealth and that of their parents. This gives them the delusion that they are financially well off. Number 3. They are significantly more dependent on credit. Number 4. Gift receivers earn less money compared to those who receive no EIC. In effect, the lifestyle of EIC receivers is merely a facade. Since they receive annual gifts from their parents, they begin to feel an encouragement to spend. These adult children develop an insensitivity to high prices. Thus, they end up relying on these acts of kindness in order to maintain the lifestyle that they have grown accustomed to, even when they cannot really afford it. Aside from a growing desire to spend, they also grow to be less productive individuals. When a child has grown accustomed to getting financial help from his parents whenever he needs it, he becomes satisfied with whatever amount he is already earning. As a result, he no longer develops his initiative, which can also dampen his productivity. These receivers of EIC are also the ones who are less likely to face life's adversities. Since they were young, their parents had already made them live comfortable lives. Most of these affluent parents start and finance their child's business. Some would even help in supporting the business to stay alive. This results in the child's lack of confidence when it comes to dealing with their problems. Thus, the adult children who are given regular economic gifts have the tendency to accumulate less wealth than those of the same age who are not EIC receivers. Hope you enjoy this inputs from Millionaire Next Door. And if you like my video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel and comment down below. Thank you.